Sehriban Coskunfirat, a victim of a satanic ritual. Today, I will discuss an unforgettable incident that took place on the 13th September of 1999. It revolves around a young woman named Sehriban Coskunfirat and 3 satanic people that shocked Turkey. This event, known as the Satanic murder, instilled fear and concern among many families in Turkey. The influence of Satanism even extended to the metal music scene in Turkiye, where young people listened to music and more rumors of satanic activities circulated. However, before going into this gruesome murder, let's rewind to a year earlier when it began to spread widely. At that time, 2 teenagers who had just started high school tragically ended their own lives, leaving behind just a note. Investigations revealed that these 2 boys were associated with satanic groups, emphasizing the presence of satanic influences in society. What does Satanism mean? Satanism means shortly to believe in the existence of Satan as a deity and engage in ritual practices and worship. Theistic Satanists may have different conceptions of Satan and interpret his symbolism in various ways. Now let's return to the incident that took place. The main character is Engin Aslan, who can be considered as the leader of the trio. Engin developed an interest in Satanism at the age of 16 and surrounded himself with like-minded individuals who believed in metaphysical beings and demons. He even claimed to have contact with these entities, considering himself anything but ordinary. Engin came from an ordinary Turkish family that seemed normal on the surface, but the truth was that Engin and his family were incompatible in many ways. Engin, being somewhat problematic, found it challenging to fit in with both his family and his surroundings. He would often share stories about jinn and metaphysical beings, exploring their interconnected narratives. Despite his strained relationship with his family, Engin had his own social circle and was known for listening attentively to the events surrounding him. People were not afraid to confide in him as he spoke convincingly. His long-standing fascination with Satanism led Engin to believe that he should spread this teaching. At the age of 17, he frequented to go to a bar in Taksim, where he eventually met Ömer Çelik, a 22-year-old who had recently returned from military service and was facing challenges in his personal and professional life. Engin recognized Ömer as a suitable candidate, someone who could comprehend and appreciate the existence of metaphysical beings and jinn. Engin shared his knowledge on how to contact these entities, presenting himself as a knowledgeable master who even conversed with the devil. Ömer, initially skeptical, found himself drawn to the supernatural and impressed by Engin's claims. To validate his beliefs, Engin offered concrete proof by showing Ömer a collection of disturbing photos representing satanic rituals and the sacrifice of cats. Ömer was both surprised and horrified by these images, causing him to question Engin's sudden outpouring of incomprehensible words. Engin explained that he communicated with jinn, and Ömer started to believe in Engin's abilities to reach another dimension. Ömer desired a religion that could influence others and grant him a sense of importance. Recognizing Ömer's aspirations, Engin made him an offer. He could learn Satanic teachings and be initiated into Satanism. However, Ömer had to prove his loyalty and obedience to Engin. The next day, at an old deserted factory, Engin called Ömer to meet him. The atmosphere was eerie and filled with darkness, making it nearly impossible for Ömer to see what lay ahead. Despite the fear that drowned him, Engin confidently led the way, appearing like a master with Ömer as his devoted follower. As they arrived at the location where Engin intended to teach Ömer, a large pentagram caught Ömer's attention. There was something undeniably ominous about this place, and Engin presented the photos once again, confirming that it was one of the sites where satanic rituals had taken place. Ömer found himself standing in front of a shocking scene, an act of cat sacrifice. But this was just the beginning of the horrors to come. Ömer's emotions were a turbulent mix of fear and excitement as he witnessed these gruesome acts. Engin saw the behavior of Ömer and began to speak and told him that the demons came. Suddenly, he felt a chilling presence behind him, and demonic voices began to whisper in his ear. Ömer warned his companion, sensing that something was approaching, but Engin ignored it and moved forward. Overwhelmed by his fear, Engin prepared himself for a new and even more terrifying ordeal. Engin told Ömer to take off his clothes, and without objection, Ömer unwillingly complied, stripping off his belongings. Then Engin led him down to a dark basement, leaving him alone in its eerie depth. Engin had been communicating with metaphysical entities, but now they fell silent, awaiting the demons to return. Ömer's loyalty would be tested and confirmed if they appeared again. As fear gripped, Ömer closed his eyes tightly, hoping to block out the unsettling voices. However, trying as he might, he couldn't open his eyes again, leaving him trapped in darkness. After what felt like an eternity, Ömer gathered the courage to open his eyes, only to be met with a pair of blood-red eyes staring back at him. He questioned whether it was a trick his mind was playing, or if he was, from Engin himself, was being deceived. But in the midst of it, Engin felt a searing pain in his arm, a burning sensation that traveled up from his fingertips. This experience solidified Engin's hold over him, proving that Ömer's loyalty had been claimed. Ömer and Engin became a close couple after that fateful night. They met daily, and Engin shared everything he had learned about Satanism and its rituals with Ömer, his devoted follower. However, they believed that one more person is needed to join their circle, as if it was the devil's desire. Engin came across a young woman in her 20s. She caught up by her black apparel. He approached her, unaware of the significance she would hold in his life. And wearing black at that time in Turkey was just justifying to belong to Satanism. Engin whispered something in her ear, but Ömer never knew or could hear what he told her. Shortly after Zinnur Gülşah Dinçer meeting Ömer and Engin, they became closer. Eventually, the three of them formed a tight bond, and Zinnur's profound knowledge of metaphysical entities and Satanism engaged with these from Engin. Ömer felt he was on the cusp of understanding everything with Zinnur, because she has more knowledge and will be better in understanding everything better than him. Zinnur knew she had to pass a loyalty test to earn Engin's trust, so they arranged to meet again, this time in an old eerie building. Engin's ritual would take place with instructing her on a different approach, with the same pentagram on the floor. He convinced her to take off her clothes and that this was necessary. So Zinnur agreed to participate and took off her clothes. The pentagram star once again adorned the floor as they embarked in the dark and unsettling ceremony. Engin's excitement quickly turned into terror as he realized he could become a victim of his own rituals. Doubts consumed him as he questioned the meaning behind it. But then he began sacrificing again a cat, and he gave Ömer and Zinnur the order to have sex. Intimate encounters between Zinnur and Ömer further deepened. Engin found himself entangled in a web of terrifying rites, satanic doctrines, and bloodshed. Engin's actions made him the prime suspect in these heinous crimes. It was evident that he was plagued by psychological issues, but his persuasive nature allowed him to manipulate others, even using Ömer and Zinnur as pawns in his twisted game. And now coming back to Sehriban Coskunfirat and how she met with these three. Sehriban Coskunfirat was born in Istanbul in 1980. She hailed originally from Malatya, a city known for its strong family ties. Sehriban was the sixth child of 8 children in her family and excelled in athletics during her school years. She was a talented young girl, achieving success in her team and belonging to a large and loving family. Growing up, Sehriban experienced a joyful and happy childhood, surrounded by the warm energy of her family. She possessed a pure heart and was known for her kind nature. Her family provided a stable and nurturing environment, ensuring her well-being. And during that time, Sehriban worked at a pizzeria located in Taksim. After work, she often frequented places where she could enjoy rap music and socialize. It was in these circles that she encountered Ömer Çelik and Engin Aslan. Unfortunately, little did she know that this meeting would lead to a tragic end. Sehriban wasn't an introverted person, but she didn't have many close friends. She dedicated herself to her studies and had an active life within her social group. It was after a while that she met Engin, and they shared beliefs and interest in supernatural beings, led them to delve into discussions about rituals and the occult. Sehriban and Engin desired to form their own sect, incorporating their beliefs and expanding the community. Sehriban but didn't have a strong belief in these matters, despite considering herself an atheist. She didn't believe in the existence of metaphysical entities, but was drawn to the subject and the exploration of unconventional ideas. Their friendship deepened and they spent more time together, exploring their shared interests. They would often socialize, and it was during one of these outings that Zinnur encountered Sehriban, a new addition to their group. Engin's growing interest in Sehriban sparked a sense of jealousy within Zinnur. Although Engin claimed to like Zinnur and that Sehriban would be interested in Ömer, Zinnur's jealousy began to manifest. She felt threatened by Sehriban's presence and the attention she received from Engin. This jealousy added strain to the dynamics between Engin, Zinnur, Sehriban and Ömer. The intricate relationship and emotional dynamics between the group members played a significant role in the unfolding events. Jealousy, mixed beliefs, and a quest for belonging would all contribute to the tragic path they were about to embark on. Engin and Ömer continued to harbor jealousy towards her. The four individuals were hanging out together on a day when they were at the beach. A sudden earthquake and aftershocks occurred. They decided to seek refuge in the forest. Engin had eerily predicted the earthquake, which was seen as a sign of a diabolical sacrifice. He expressed his desire for a victim and chose Sehriban, targeting her at the sacrifice. Tragically, Sehriban was attacked without realizing right at the moment. She didn't see the danger and lost her life on the spot. The situation took an even darker turn when she became the victim of sexual assault by the trio after her death. The villainous acts committed by Engin and his companions surpassed even the cruelty of their own master. Their actions were driven by sick and animalistic desire. Contrary to Zinnur's claims, they also engaged in the abduction of newborn babies for sacrificial purposes. The truth about Zinnur's involvement and her prayers remained unknown for a few days following the murder. Sehriban's lifeless body was discovered in a village cemetery where she had been partially buried. It was revealed that Ömer Çelik had been seen with her on the night before the incident, leading to their swift capture. The trio of deviants did not deny their crimes and showed no remorse during the court proceedings. Engin was sentenced to jail without displaying any signs of repentance. Zinnur and Ömer, the other perpetrators, also received their respective sentences. The time in prison brought about some changes in Engin's behavior. He pretended to engage in prayer and even took guitar lessons for a while. Meanwhile, he wrote letters expressing his intention to marry someone. He made a decision that can only be described as disgraceful. Despite the severity of the crimes, their punishment was a lifetime sentence, but reduced to a mere 16 years, which angered the public. They were evacuated in 2015. Derya, the older sister of Sehriban Coskunfirat, refused to let go of the matter and continued her pursuit of justice. She discovered that Zinnur had run away and sought refuge in Switzerland, thanks to Facebook. Derya closely followed updates on Zinnur's page. The whereabouts of Engin and Ömer Çelik remain unknown, leaving many questions unanswered. It is uncertain whether they are still in Turkey or have relocated elsewhere. The details regarding their current circumstances are not publicly available. It is unclear if anyone possesses knowledge about their situation. So, what do you think about these happenings? Can you tolerate something like that?